Thank you very much, Guillermo. Can you hear me? Can you hear me well, everyone? Very well. I'm very happy to participate here in this exchange of ideas on this topic. This topic is at the nucleus of the political dispute of class struggle in the world. In the 10 minutes that I have, I want to share with you a few reflections that we've shared in the popular movements, particularly from Latin America. And I'm very happy that to see that here in this space we have a plurality of representation. We have people from academics, from governments, from politics. This will allow us to put together a more complete image to share the visions that we have about this stage of class struggle worldwide. I am not an academic myself. I am not an expert in world geopolitics, but I want to talk to you about how we, the political activists, militants involved in class struggle in our countries, how we see this historical moment. And I will divide this into themes. The first theme is to consider, and we consider, that the economic decadence of the US empire has already begun. This thesis is based on several statistic indicators. It's not just our desire to see it so. The US economy is decreasing. It's not driving world economy anymore. On the other hand, there is a world crisis in terms of the capitalist mode of production. That is why the US wants to stay at the vanguard of this, and that's why they suffer. They are suffering the consequences of a socioeconomic formation that is right now in a structural crisis. Stalinism, their empire, this empire worldwide, they cannot organize society as a whole in order to produce the necessary goods for the people. And that is why capitalism can no longer be the proposal, because capitalism cannot solve the problems of the people. On the contrary, as each day goes by, we see statistics of growing wealth concentration, growing bank control, growing poverty. And that's why capitalism is a thing of the past. It cannot be presented anymore as a proposal for the future. Third element, the US has not managed to solve the problems of its own people. We have never seen as many poor people in the US, with people living on the streets, people going hungry, unemployment. So how is it possible that a country may want to dominate others if they don't manage to solve their own problems at home? This is very serious. Fourth element, the dollar. It's an international currency. The US have imposed it on us from their own agreement, their own driven. They wanted this from their agreement, and they used the hegemony, the military hegemony they had. And after World War II, they used dollar as a currency to dominate the peoples and to exploit national economies, because they have the machine to print this paper and to tell us that it has some value. So what's happening right now with the dollar? It's not a signal anymore. It's not believable. It's not the reference for world economy. And the Eurasian countries, including even India, they have announced that they will try to develop commercial exchanges using other currencies. perhaps even virtual currencies. So let me close now this diagnostic saying that even if the US has the greatest military power in the world, still, wait, let us read the classics since Clausewitz. Guns are only the continuity of economics and politics. So if they aren't the future of economics and they don't longer have the political economy hegemony, sorry, then the guns won't be able to help them. And this has been made clear when they use the military power to invade Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, to destroy Libya. And what happened? They lost. They lost all four wars and they had to retreat. After all of these aggressions, the Iraqi parliament emitted a prison order for Trump for his responsibility on the assassinations.
Therefore, even though the United States still dominates in military power, it is not able to use it to expand its economy because the crisis is in the economy, and that is where the political crisis is emanating from, and this crisis of domination. So, looking forward, I get on to the second topic. I believe that we must analyze the actions of the Gringo Empire moving forward. They are aware that they no longer have the hegemony they used to enjoy. Therefore, they need to bring the class struggle into the ideological dispute. So all of the initiatives that are already being considered for this apparatus that we tend to call the deep state in the United States is essentially moving to try to break the working class, to crush socialist ideas, and to prevent post-capitalist programs from coming forward through ideological struggle. Within a class struggle framed this way that is centered on this dispute over ideas, this is how we can perceive how they will move. First, they have a strategy on which several books have been written of hybrid warfare. Hybrid warfare is a strategy that disputes politics by manipulating ideas, manipulating social media, and by using lawfare to manipulate the courts and so forth. It is down the path of hybrid warfare that they will continue to try to overthrow governments, buy off judges like they have done throughout Latin America and so forth. And then this is where we also see their offensive in this ideological war to transform China into the ideological enemy of humanity. If China had a Democratic Party, they wouldn't worry about it. They are trying to wage war with China over ideological matters. What they are essentially upset about is that China has overcome the problem of poverty and is on the path to creating a progressive society under the leadership of a communist party. Look at that. It is as if it's like a psychological problem that they can't come to grips with. So they want to have war against China, and here we're calling it a Cold War, but it's not just a trade war. It is not just a technology war against Huawei or other Chinese tech companies. Rather, It is an attempt to wage an ideological war against China's approach. And we, in our Latin American countries, see a small window opening in terms of the fact that in addition to the ideological war that the empire is going to impose on us with this ideological war and war against China, we know that in Latin America, we're also going to receive the brunt of an offensive on the goods of nature, agriculture, mining, oil, biodiversity. This is clear even with the coup against Evo. They were disputing who would wind up with the mining interests, and Tesla financed the coup for the right-wing forces in Bolivia. So clearly, in Latin America, we have to be aware of this because in addition to other people are going to be involved in the ideological war, there's going to be hybrid warfare and this war against China. They're also going to challenge and vie for our natural resources every day. Finally, in order to take advantage of the presence of the representative of the People's Republic of China at this meeting, I do not want to issue a formulaic response to anyone, but I would like to say something from here in Latin America. I think that the best way China can win this ideological Cold War is to not fall for the US's provocations. Let the gringos just yell at themselves. No one is listening to them. The best response China can give is to continue to improve the lives of its people, to continue to fight in social inequality, to continue to democratize its country with all of the countries of the world. That is to democratize its technological progress, because we cannot put up the resources here in Latin America or in Africa and conduct technology research that China has already achieved. So what is left for us is for China to have the humanist and internationalistic vision to share with us its technological progress, as it is currently doing with the production of the COVID-19 vaccine. So, brothers and sisters, compañeros and compañeras, I am not pessimistic. Those of us in social struggle do not have the right to be pessimistic. On the contrary, the empire is in decay. That is why, with its last dying breath, it's trying to create all this chaos. But we know it's a long ideological struggle, which is all that we needed. That's what it's come down to. And it's very clear we have to confront this ideological struggle against the ideas of capitalism, because capitalism is no longer the solution for humanity. Warm embraces to each and every one of you. And I turn the microphone over to you, Laura.